spring football, and who better to put a bow on the spring season than Brooks Austin, the film guy. Brooks, good afternoon. What's up?
Nothing much, Paul. I want to get this off my chest up first and foremost. I want to clap a round of applause for Texas A&M and Georgia for streaming their spring games this weekend while everybody else hid behind iPhone cameras. So thank you. I appreciate those two schools because we get to see football. By the way, both of those programs, they got after it. Now, unfortunately, A&M sustained an injury, but hey, they're going to be physical football teams coming this fall, and I think there will be good football teams this fall. At least I can see that, and I know that. Everybody else, I don't know. I don't know. We got some good stuff out of Florida from video standpoint, but I don't like how people hide behind closed doors. I got it when we didn't have when we had a second spring portal window, Paul. I do not understand the fear for broadcasting your roster, by the way, that is funded by your fan base. I don't know, to your fan base during the spring. It's just an idea.
I agree. I think a lot of fans agree with you too, Brooks. So let's talk about what we know. And the Dogs, we know more about than almost anyone. So start with the Dogs. What did you see?
Man, I did not expect Caden Prothro to be like this. I mean, we heard a lot of spring inklings from sources about, hey, this young freshman's going to be something. But the usage of being a wide receiver, Paul, is very important for his early impact onto this roster. The tight end room is ridiculously loaded at the University of Georgia, but B, that might be what Caden's best skill set is moving forward. He's 6'6", 240 pounds. He can really run and is great at the catch point. Great at the, going up and getting the football. He put that on display this weekend as well. Having that ability, something that, is going to depart from the roster because of Colby Young's graduation, was something I don't know if the outside observer, even somebody as connected as myself, expected day one, year one as a true freshman. It looks like Prothro might be able to do that. That's a tremendous addition for them.
So what else did you see that makes you feel either better or worse about the Dogs?
Yeah, I mean, defensively, Paul, they have a plethora of football players. I think it was very important for them, for two players specifically. Let's go three at each level, right? I think it was important for them for Elijah Griffin to go from, man, that guy is really good as a freshman, to, number 90's a game wrecker again. They got one of these defensive tackles that's constantly in the mix, blowing stuff up. It was very important for him to potentially take that step. It looks like he is. Valdon Sohn, a true freshman, borderline on that five-star territory at the defensive tackle position, might be in line to be kind of that as well, it looks like, for them. And that's important for them. They need immediate access to the quarterback and immediate havoc on these offensive lines against opposing teams. They struggled to get after the quarterback quickly last year. The knee injury to Maris Williams, the transfer from Auburn, really takes a hit into that. But Chase Linton, a redshirt freshman, they have a tremendous amount of hopes for at that position as well. Had a great spring, it sounds like. Chris Cole was a player that needed to take this next level of hey, you're great. I need you to be transcendent. He has a chance to be that, it looks like, this coming fall for them at the linebacker position, a position where they're extremely deep, as always, with Glenn Schumann at the helm at that position, recruiting there heavily. And then KJ Bolden had a really good spring at the safety spot. Paul, he's got to play high-level football for them, and around him is going to, I think, be a kind of a revolving door at that other safety spot.
Let's check out just for a second, because I know there's about 3 or 4 schools I want to go over with you. But A&M, you mentioned the injury. Let's talk about that and what it means.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're tremendously deep at that position. It kind of reminds me, I know it's not that long ago, but it's very similar to the Noah Rogers injury at wide receiver. If there was a position I felt really, really good about watching them in terms of a depth spot, it was that linebacker position at A&M. I think they've recruited it really, really well. But I got to name some guys that they added out of the portal, man. And forgive me because they're new to this roster. Anto Saka is an edge rusher they picked up from Northwestern. He's nasty, Paul. I mean, he is 6'4", 255 pounds, and he's going to get after the quarterback at a really, really high rate this year. They brought over Isaiah Horton, the wide receiver from Alabama, who was used as kind of like a Z, as almost like a secondary role to Jeremy Bernard last year at Alabama. I'm very curious to see what he's going to look like as a true X, like a true number one outside the numbers. When we get man-to-man coverage, we're going to trust you to do it. if you watch that spring game, he's beating really good cornerback play for explosive plays down the field. I'm excited to see what he can do. I'm going to butcher Mr. Buford's name, so I'm not even going to try his first name. The safety transfer from Colorado. I'm not kidding you, Paul. The safety from Colorado was coming downhill and using his helmet. I'm talking about striking with the screws in a spring game. When I see that, Paul, I know I'm a football head. I know I'm goofy. I know I'm the film guy, whatever. I watch a lot of football, but I think it matters that in games that don't, we are striking and tackling and playing physical like we're going to have to win games in January. I don't know if you watched those playoff games, Paul, but they were blow for blow. I'm talking about physical, like every play, every snap mattered. And if we're not bringing that to the forefront in August or in April when we have limited opportunities, you can miss me with it. I don't like this. We're going to tag off in spring. I don't like this. So I love watching that stuff, and he showed it all over the place, playing in the box, physical, trying to set the tone. And that, to me, being a first, like, they are new to this football team, they're playing like that, that's obviously a culture setter. That's a culture sign, right? That is what we are about here. You have seen 14 practices to see what it means to be on this defense. Now go play like that for, an hour and a half. And that's exactly what Buford did. The freshman, Brandon Arrington, the corner, my Lord. All right, 5-star coming out. He's going to play. I think he's going to play on the opposite side of Desmond Ricks, who is one of the top-end returning corners in this conference. And then Aaron Gregory, the true freshman wide receiver, has had a great spring out there as well. So there's a lot of new faces out there, and they needed them. Paul, they're going to set a school record for draft picks, and they set a school record for NFL Combine invitees. They needed these types of replenishments, and it sounds like they got them.
We are talking to the film guy, in case you wondered. I mean, I don't know about you, Brooks. It feels like we're football. I mean, it just feels like we're finally getting to the football season. We are going to stop here for a moment. I want to come back. A couple of other schools I want to get from you that I know you have dug deep into, even though they're not helping us with the actual games. Brooks Austin, the film guy. We're back after this.
Ever wonder what makes Bush's beans the best?
The star of the ads, obviously.
Well, it does start with family. For decades, our family has been cooking and canning only the best quality beans.
Bush's beans make it the best.
Meet the new Sonic All-American Smasher lineup. Hand-smashed patties made with Angus beef, always made to order and served hot off the grill. It's a classic American cheeseburger leveled up. Order in the Sonic app today for $0 delivery fee. Live free, eat Sonic.
The United Football League is Premier Spring Football.
Some new energy in the air.
New teams.
3 new markets.
Innovative rules.
They score 4.
And more access inside the action.
I'm enjoying out here with the fellas. Having a lot of damn fun. Touchdown! Like no other professional sports league.
This is football reimagined. The United Football League. Saturday at 7 on ESPN. And Sunday at noon and 3 on ABC.
We, our team, our school, love of the game, and for all that surrounds it. Players making it happen.
3 games coming our way tomorrow.
And the moments that make us all part of it. Here, where we're throwing it down and we're walking it off. And here, the home of the SEC Network.
This is the story of the one who knows well-prepared workdays take off smoothly and land right on time. That's why he counts on Grainger. With next-day delivery and professional-grade products, Grainger helps ensure he, his crew, and thousands of passengers fly through the day like clockwork. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At FrameBridge, we believe the items you frame tell your story. Since 2014, FrameBridge has been making it easy to custom frame everything you love, online and in your local store. Transparent pricing, beautiful designs, handcrafted using the highest quality materials, delivered to you in days. 3 million stories and counting. Custom frame everything that tells your story.
Call Finebaum now. 855-242. 7285. That's 855-242-PAUL. This is the Paul Finebaum Show.
I'm coming for you.
It did not look like a youthful team. They looked like veterans out there. What did it mean to see them step up with the adversity on that third rotation, but going into the floor just wow.
You have to talk about Ella Murphy in this moment because after that mistake, a freshman who's never competed in this moment before was to take the beam. And so I was so thrilled for her, and I looked into her eyes and I could just tell that she was going to do it. And she said, I was so nervous going up there, but as soon as I stood up, I felt a sense of calm come over me. So proud. She got us back on track, and everyone after her just kind of felt, I think, a calm confidence after that.
I would love for both of y'all to answer this question, but Coach, I'll start with you. When you think about an athlete like Faith, what you just talked about, thinking back on this entire season, what are you most proud of when it comes to what this team did this year?
I'm most proud of our leadership, to be honest.
Yeah.
Faith and Ava took this young team in their hands, and they're only 2 seniors. And so they hadn't had a lot of leadership ability before this because we had this very dominant senior class last year. And they took this team and took a totally different approach because they knew exactly what this team needed. I love that. I love that they delegated some of the power and responsibilities. I'm just so proud of how much they've grown in their leadership. That is number one for me.
I was so proud of them. Obviously, they compete so confidently. You know, they've done a million routines. They watched the championship last year, and they even said to me, like, that's going to be us next year. And I was like, yes, like, they were just so confident, and that's exactly what we needed.
I love it. Before we get you guys out of here, Faith, when it comes to Coach's resume, next to both of y'all, both of your resumes are pretty dang impressive. But when it comes to Coach and the amount of championships that she has won in Norman, what makes her so good at what she does? Why is she at the top of the sport?
She knows exactly what she's doing. They have it down to a T. All the coaching staffs, they've been together so long. That's what really separates this team, but they have it down to a science.
What does a post-national championship celebration look like? How has that evolved over the years, Coach?
We are having a pizza party. Yeah, in Fort Worth. Hopefully we'll have a great crowd waiting for us in Norman, so very excited to just spend the week celebrating.
Yeah, I have a feeling that Boomer Sooner Nation is going to be ready to welcome y'all back to Norman. Congratulations. We'll see you back here again next year, I'm sure. KJ Kidler, Faith Torres, kind enough to stop by after winning another national championship. Yeah, that's 8 for Oklahoma as they head back to Norman victorious. I'm sure they'll take some of that confetti back there with them.
And we are back with the film guy and Brooks Austin joining us. So Brooks, on this program, and I think it's because of the uncertainty maybe, or the perceived uncertainty, but we get more questions about Alabama. And I realize a lot we don't know, but just I'm going to toss it back to you and start with the quarterback situation in terms of what you know and what we're looking to find out.
It's funny, that's going to be the overarching theme and talking point of this offseason. It's been that way since the conclusion of the Rose Bowl game, it's felt like, right? Austin Mack versus Keelan Russell. I think that is such a side point about their questions of whether or not they're going to be Alabama good, right? Are they going to be playoff good? I know they're going to be playoff good at quarterback. I know both of these guys are really, really good. I think this is a situation where they can't make a wrong decision. Right, I think Austin Mack is a really, really high-end point guard and distributor of the football. He'll do exactly what Kalen DeBoer wants from a standpoint of, quote-unquote, stacking plays. And then I think Keelan Russell is a playmaker. I think he is an explosive, oh, my gosh, look at this, wow player, right, with elite athleticism. The only problem is, with Keelan, hey, are we gonna play on time? Or are we going to be able to stack plays? If we can do a little combination of both, I think that might be the long-term answer, and it obviously is the long-term answer. I think the inclination as a fan and as an observer is to look at someone that talented, the way he throws the football and the way he moves, and want to play him now. I just don't think that is, to be honest with you, it's not about whether or not they're going to be playoff good at the quarterback position. I know they are. I worry about whether or not they're going to be able to run the football. I worry about whether or not, can they stay healthy long enough at wide receiver? Are they good enough at tight end? Those are my questions about Alabama. But I know when there is a quote-unquote quarterback battle, that draws all the attention. That draws all the, clicks, if you will. That's a mute discussion point for me, though, because I trust DeBoer and Ryan Grubb more at the quarterback position than, I don't know, a lot. Like, they got a long track record of guys that play it really, really well, dating all the way back to Jake Haener at Fresno State. Like, they're really good at this position, Paul. Everywhere else, we got to find questions. Like, listen, I know Ty's special, and I know he's a 5-star, and he was a really smart guy when he got to Alabama. But listen to him talk the game now. Who do you think he's been talking football with the last 24 months? Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb, like these guys.
Okay, assuming all that, and we'll let the callers argue with you later, how would you, Brooks Austin, go about determining this quarterback battle? Because you go with the veteran, Austin Mack, who's been part of the DeBoer system with Grubb, and you do run a risk of really perhaps losing your other player. So figure that out for us.
Yeah, I think in the world of college football, we have to chase explosivity as an offensive coordinator, as a football team. We have to play the guy who gives us the most opportunity to be the most explosive version of ourselves that we can be, and that will ultimately be Keelan Russell. My question, and I would play him, my question's about whether or not it's going to be like an ultimate success like immediately is whether or not he has learned to protect himself, Paul. I watched last year's garbage time, and I know it's garbage time. I know it's against Tidewater Tech or whoever they're playing in the mid-major levels and the Wisconsins of the world or whenever he got burned. But, like, there's about 35 snaps, and we put ourselves at massive exposures to contact, I think 3 or 4 times, where we take, like, helicopter hits. I'm talking about we try to, like, hurdle a football player, and then we get hit in the head, and then we spin around and land on the ground from 5 feet in the air. The only problem with that is we're 6'2", like maybe 200 pounds. It's not like we're not Cam Newton. We're not a big person. We're built more like Jaden Daniels than anybody else. You know what I mean? We're like 6'3", 205 range, not big, sturdy tree. We're more like nimble, twitchy athletes. So if he can learn to protect himself, he will be the guy, Paul. I think, not only this year, but especially long term. Super bullish on the long-term future of the player because of what type of thrower he is. It is a very, very special arm.
Overall, we talked about the quarterback situation. What's your impression of what we know about Alabama? You know what the schedule looks like. You know the challenges. What do you make out of this team?
This is going to sound crazy, but from an SEC schedule standpoint, that is about as manageable as we're going to get from a 9-game standpoint, Paul. I mean, some of these guys got brutal ones, and I think this is relatively manageable when you throw it up on the screen and just really look at it and go through it, especially to start right there all the way up to that Georgia game. They should be undefeated going into that one October 10th. I love the idea that they're playing Sedarian Morgan, the freshman 5-star wide receiver, in the slot. Very similar to that conversation we had about Caden Prothro. These big, long wide receivers, when they're young, they're going to struggle beating press man coverage. When a big adult corner gets in their face, they're going to struggle to create separation. That discussion and that negative about a young player at that size gets negated when we move them closer to the football because defensive backs have to play off of us and give us room to work. So I think having him be an immediate hit and immediate explosive life for them is needed. We're going to find out whether or not they can run the football in August. I don't talk about anybody's run game positively or negatively coming out of spring games because I know how these coaches operate. Most of them don't want to, like, quote unquote, establish the run during a spring game because that's how we get injured, honestly.
Let's move over to Florida. What's your take on them?
Yeah, it's another one of these where they got a quarterback battle. I am entrenched. It's another one of these situations where everybody seemed to have made up their mind, myself included. And I made up my mind the moment Aaron Philo transferred there, Paul, and I'm honest and forthcoming about it. I think this guy's going to be really, really good. And honestly, if he gets beat out by Tramel Jones, then I'm going to think Tramel Jones must be really, really good. Because I've seen what Philo has done in limited action at Georgia Tech. I'm very close in proximity to it. He went to Prince Avenue Christian right down the road. He set Georgia high school state records in passing. I'm talking Trevor Lawrence, bye-bye with your records. Deshaun Watson, bye-bye with your records. Gunnar Stockton, bye-bye with your records. All of them shattered. Like this guy, I think he is one of these like true throwers of the football. He sees the field the right way. And again, if Trammell beats him out, that guy must be that good. I'm also extremely bullish on the coordinator hires out there at Florida, Paul. Buster Faulkner and Brad White are two dudes now. Buster Faulkner had top 25 offenses 2 years in a row at Georgia Tech. He did not have top 25 rosters. He had top 25 offenses. Brad White had three top 15 defenses in 7 years at Kentucky. Top 15, 3 of them in 7 years at Kentucky. That, like, you give these guys Florida talent, what's going to happen? I think it's going to be at least, I marked them off 9 wins preseason. That's the way I think about it. Before we even get to the head coach of Summerall, who I think he's cut out the right way. I think he's a lunatic. I think he's a lunatic with emotional intelligence, and that's hard to find. A guy who's hard on you all the time, but sometimes knows or somehow knows the right thing to say to make you go, okay, maybe he's not just a butthole that hates me. Maybe he's doing it because he wants me to get better. I think Summerall's got that magic kind of sauce to him as a football coach. I'm excited to see what Florida can do, especially offensively. They are explosive at the weaponry department, and they got great defensive linemen, Paul.
And before you get out of here, the most talked about school in the SEC from now until the end of time, as long as Lane Kiffin is the head coach. What about the Tigers?
Oh, heck, I thought you were going Arch Manning and them Longhorns. It's all about the quarterback to me out there. Like, I am not the biggest Sam Levitt believer in the world. I love that he's a playmaker, but I think he's a frantic playmaker. I think he likes to do things a lot off script. I don't think that is what leads itself to ultimate success at the position. However, Lane's going to give him the answers. Lane, they're going to be great on offense. There's no doubt about it. Lane was actually tweeting during the Sugar Bowl, ironically, when Ole Miss and Georgia were playing, and I see this graphic pop up on my phone that says Lane Kiffin offenses lead all of college football in yards per game and points per game since helmet comms have come into the sport. And I think we talked about this year, Paul. His ability to talk to these quarterbacks and give them the answers pre-snap, it's a cheat code. It's really unfair because he has all the answers. He comes from he is the son of Monty Kiffin. All these defensive systems everybody playing is Monty-based. All this Tampa that everybody's playing is Monty-based. He knows all the answers, and he gives them to his quarterbacks pre-snap. So they're going to score points. There's no doubt about that.
Before you go, we want to ask you about something we saw recently. We've talked about all the off seasons. What about the off season of you, Brooks? Let's. That's a mighty big fish there, as we say.
That's the old fisher's trick of hold the fish close to the camera, and it gets bigger. That's old school AI for you young folks that don't know how to do it. Just hold the fish closer to the camera. It'll look nice and large. But nah, that's about 3.5 pounds, Paul. We was on them that day. We was on them.
I saw some pretty nice homes in the background. Where was that?
Hey, come on! Don't pocket watch me. Who's the one pocket watching who right now?
I'm just asking,
man. Let me get $1, Paul. Let me get $1.
I mean, I just saw some really nice little lake homes there. I was just curious where it is. That house right back there looks like Kirby could be living there.
Hey, next time you're in Athens, Paul, I might take you for a round of golf. You just holler at me, all right?
Hey, you are on, because I gave up golf, and I'm about to take it up again, and round 1 is with you. I can't wait. And wherever you're hanging out there by that lake and that golf club, I want some Brooks Austin. Great to talk to you. What a pleasure. Fantastic segment. We are back right after this.